My friends, welcome to episode 66 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Happy New Year. This is the first episode of 2017. I am Larry the Prof, and over there is Anthony the Dev. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. A new year.
Man, a new year. A lot of people were excited about 2016 dying in a fiery death, but personally, it was a good year.
It's a mixed year. I mean, all years are mixed.
Yeah, that's true.
In my personal life, I'm very happy.
Right, me too.
Like, honestly, it's been a great year.
Yep.
When you pull back for the world, probably not the best year, but I don't know if it's necessarily the worst year ever.
It's certainly not the worst year ever. There were some years in the 30s and 40s that might take the cake.
Yeah, exactly. So, like any year, it has its good and its bad. And
right.
I can definitely see why there's a lot of people that are like, let's move on.
Yeah. There's that Penny Arcade comic I thought was the best take on it. Yeah. Just talking to his little puppy. You know, it's a bad year, but they're not all like this. You know, we just gotta survive a couple more days, and then an eagle comes in and grabs the puppy and takes it away.
It was really well done.
I want that framed. I want that on my wall. That's so awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really thinking about it. So 2016 ended without a lot of news. So our podcast today is going to be, because it's the first podcast of the month, we're going to start with our video game book club discussion. And this month, or month of December, Anthony and I played Stories, the Path of Destinies, which was a PS Plus title, but also available on PC. We have a couple of news items, both related to Steam, and then the section about what we're playing. We have quite a few things we've been playing since it's been break time for us. And then off-topic TV and movies, and then we will end the show there. So let's start with Stories, the Path of Destinies, and I want to get your opinion on kind of like everything, like the art style, the gameplay, the way the story rolled out. But first, I want to ask your opinion about the title of the game. How do you feel about that title?
It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm like, is it Stories, the Paths of Destiny? Like, the whole second line is kind of hard. Using the name Stories is hard, because Googling that is a pain in the butt. Stories game, like,
right.
You're going to get a lot of it. For visibility, it's probably a very poor name choice.
Right. I wonder if they, when they were in production, they were like, we're going to call it Destiny, and then Destiny came out, and they're like, well, can't do that now.
Shit.
Yeah. I thought it was a poor name as well. I didn't know where the plurals were. There could have been a much better name. I don't know. Okay, now that important discussion is out of the way. What do you think about the game?
I liked it overall. Enough to binge it over the last couple days, really. Overall, I would put it probably at like a 75 out of 100. Somewhere in the middle there. Like, it's better than average. This isn't a classic. I'm not going to probably think back on this game years from now or want to replay it in years. It's not that type of game, but I'm very happy that I played it, and basically by the time I was done with it, it hadn't worn out its welcome on me, but I wasn't really craving more of it.
Yeah, I settled in about the B- range, like an 80 to 82. I felt like, for me, the things that really, okay, I think I probably would have settled for like the 75 range too, except for the narrator.
The narrator was hilarious. Like, the writing for the narrator was really good. There were lots of references to literature, to other stories, which was nice because the game was called Stories. So there was just a lot of references to a lot of things everywhere. A lot of literature, and the art style and the narrator and everything. It was very much a modern fairy tale.
Right.
I mean, it holds up very well there. The fairy tale setting and kind of fairy tale type storytelling,
right,
is embedded through the entire game.
And for people who haven't played it, basically it's an ARPG, and there are 24 different endings for this game, plus the true ending, I guess, so 25 endings.
Yeah.
And you play through basically a series of 5 levels each. The whole thing takes about 45 minutes to play through one playthrough. And at the end, you get one story, and the stories are kind of separated into 4 different groups depending on which character they're about. One's about this Lupino guy, your old friend. Yeah, and then a woman that you used to love, Zabonia. Yeah. One's about this stone. Yeah, that talks to you.
This ancient relic. Exactly. Cursed stone.
And the other one's the Sky Ripper, which is this kind of weapon. And if you get a story that ends in each of those characters, you learn a truth, quote unquote, about them. And once you learn a truth about each one of them, it unlocks the final story. And then you play through that final story. You're basically playing through the levels again. Every time you play through the levels, the harder and harder enemies, basically.
Yeah. As you level up, it gets harder. And you get to the end of any of these stories, it then usually your character dies somehow. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then it's like suddenly the book that you're reading in the game, I guess, playing through is technically you're reading this, playing through the book stories.
That's right.
It flips back to the beginning and you make your choices anew, start your tree. One thing I did notice about the whole thing, I expected a boss fight.
So did I.
Finally, and there was none.
I really did too. I got to the end and so you're on the ship and there's just a ton of enemies keep going, right? It was like more enemies.
Yeah, it's a pretty big wave. Yeah.
Yeah. So as I was playing that, I was like, oh, there's going to be a boss somewhere. So I'm just I wasn't really taking it very seriously. And I actually died. And I was like, wait, what's happening here? So I took it, I actually paid attention and got through it because I wasn't used to that many enemies coming. So I kind of made some decisions that made my health go down more than it should have. And then when I got through that wave, that was it. There was no boss. There was no boss fight. There was no emperor fight.
There's no boss fight nowhere in the game.
Absolutely not. Yeah, which I thought it surprised me, but it wasn't.
It surprised me the first time playing through. So I think I played through 5 or 6. No, I wrote them all down. 6 times was my last. My last one was 6. I did one that I got 2 endings under. I believe the Iblis Stone.
So did I. I got 2.
I did 2 by accident in there. Not intentionally. It was just like, oh, I guess we're going down that story path now.
And you kind of get stuck unless you want to reset it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't take long. I mean, it's quick enough to just play through the whole thing. Right. And especially while you're still earning stuff, like upgrading weapons and gems and things you can for the light RPG side of it, didn't really have an issue playing through, continuing to play through, because you're getting resources, you're getting stuff. My 6th playthrough, the final one, I had upgraded everything. I had all the gems. So there really wasn't a whole lot driving me except leveling up, which was slowing down a ton.
Right, it really did. I got to level 19. Between 19 and 20, it was so slow.
Yeah.
And then I think you mentioned off mic, you mentioned to get the platinum, one of them you have to level up all the skill tree, which means you get to level 46, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine doing that.
So the platinum guide says it takes about 23 to 25 hours to platinum the game.
Okay.
And it took us about, I'd say probably 5 hours to get where we got, maybe 6.
Yeah.
So that's a long time. And you have to get all of the endings, which going back and playing the 2 different Iblis Stone endings, I thought was the endings that I got were pretty varied, even though they dealt with the same subject matter. So I think there's a lot to go back for, to be honest.
I think there is, if you want to get all. This is where the game comes in at like a 75 for me. I just don't want to.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm happy with what I got out of it. It's not offering me enough new content to play through it. Like, I feel like for me as a developer, I'm like, okay, if you really want this game to go for, let's say they just want you to get 20 endings and you have a few more to go, I'm going to need a lot more RPG and meta systems to just content to drive me.
Yeah, it's not just about getting the story, but the gameplay and the mechanics and stuff.
Because while the story is neat, there's a lot of gameplay between story segments.
There are.
And
And by the time, so today I played, I don't know, over 3 or 4 different days during the last month. I played like an hour, and then today I played 2 hours or 3 hours actually. And when I got to the end, I was like, I'm glad I'm done, because I'm done. I thought that the enemies did get harder and harder, but not not enough variety, to be honest.
No, there's only a few total enemy types. There's normal ravens, shield ravens. Then there's the
bomb ravens or whatever they are.
Bomb ravens, and then there's the fire wizard sorcerer ravens, right. And then the cleric buffing ravens. Right. I think that's all the enemies in the game.
Yeah, well, it is because you got that trophy pretty early.
And then the
exploring all the enemies.
Eye spotlight dudes.
Oh yeah, the predators.
Yeah.
Which I thought, the narrator had a really good comment about the predators. They look like eyes, and then you kill one and it says, "The eyes have had it." It's just funny stuff like that throughout.
Yeah.
Very Bastion-esque.
It is, actually. It reminded me a lot of Bastion.
Yeah, me too.
Because the narrator would make comments about whenever you swung in the air sometimes, or you're breaking pots.
Breaking things, or dashing around.
Yeah, I mean, it would make one-off not as much as Bastion did, but some. Like, it definitely reminded me this game was taking some cues from Bastion on how it was using the narrator.
I mean, I only played a couple hours of Bastion, but I found the narrator in this game better. The writing better. So, but I mean, Bastion was still great, but the art style, like, it was cel shaded and I don't know, just vibrant colors for the most part.
It really was. I had some weird bugs.
So did I. I lost like 10 minutes of gameplay because I got stuck in a pot.
I got stuck in just the ground one time.
Yeah.
That only happened once. I did have a couple times consistently. There was a certain area of I don't remember which island it was. It's where you go to the observatory.
Yeah.
The toads, and there was a part where it just like happened twice through my 6 playthroughs. So 2 of my games going through this area, where you went up a bunch of stairs, and then it was just you could still walk, but the ground wasn't there.
Oh yeah, right.
So I just had to remember
where the path was.
Where the path was, because you can't fall off.
Yeah,
but it was still more of a like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, there were a couple.
I noticed there was performance hitches sometimes.
Oh yeah, like frame rate.
There's definitely some frame rate drops on certain maps.
Yeah, I got to the same place on this map 2 or 3 times, and the frame rate would drop to like 3 frames a second for like a couple of seconds, and it was really weird. Yeah. I just couldn't. I wanted to ask you this question. I couldn't help but think this was designed in Unreal Engine 4, I think.
Hmm.
And I kept thinking, this looks like, I don't know how to say this, but like it looks like I'm looking at the Unreal Engine game. Like it looks like I'm looking at, like I'm seeing behind the scenes of what they developed.
A little bit.
I just felt like I could kind of see the hands behind the scenes a little bit in the way that the levels were designed. They looked very designed, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yes. This is probably it is Unreal Engine 4. For me, it's weird because the game my personal game I've been working on is all Unreal 4 as well. So, yeah, I look at it, I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there, and I see little hints of the engine throughout.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. Like, I don't have the experience with the engine, but I remember you showing me your game, and looking at this, I'm thinking, I can see how this was built, basically.
Yes.
So, which is not a bad thing. It was interesting to think about.
Trying to think of anything like super positives. I actually felt like the combat so that last big fight,
I
had to pull out everything I knew.
Yeah.
And I actually felt really good about it.
Well, that's how I felt like when I first went into it. I didn't do that because I thought it was just a normal, mob.
Yeah.
And then I got beat, and I was like, oh, I got to pull out all the tricks. So I started like throwing, holding, throwing up the ledge, pulling out all the swords, dashing around, hook-shotting. Yep.
And when you start adding all those mechanics in, the combat's really fun, actually.
It is. It really is. And I had mentioned to you, or when I played the first hour, basically, I was like, oh, this seems like baby's first ARPG, because it was just very simple at the beginning. But it gets a lot deeper, and you feel like you accomplished something. Like, my wife was watching me, and she's like, dang, like, how can you tell what's going on the screen? It's like, there's a lot going on, and, you have to be very purposeful of what you're doing, otherwise you will get beat, so...
Yeah, and you get beat down quickly.
Yeah, you lose health pretty quickly, especially with the fire ravens.
Yep.
Oh my god. Did you get that achievement, or did you get that trophy where you pull out all of your tricks in one fight?
I did not.
Yeah, I kept trying. I couldn't. I didn't know how to grab someone and stab them with a knife.
It's a skill.
Oh, I don't think I unlocked that skill then. Oh, okay.
It's part of the grab tree. It's like farther down. It's somewhere in there. There's a thing where it just does damage. You impale them when you grab them.
Right. I thought I had bought that, but I guess I didn't.
There's that. I didn't get that, but that was when I was looking at the trophies. I saw someone list all the things that you have to do.
Right. I saw that.
And there was quite a bit that I was like
10 or 11 things in one fight.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Although I can think of ways to cheese it. Like there's certain fights where you could cheese it.
Well, especially if you kept the cleric awake or alive and then have him kept rezzing people or buffing people. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that if you leave one shield guy alive, it will always spawn in a normal raven.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because especially they can't necessarily give you a know if you could defeat or not, because originally the way you find out you defeat them is you throw guys into the shield.
Right.
And so they always give you another guy that you could throw into them.
Oh, before you could get rid of his shield.
Yeah.
I see. So that didn't change after you got the ability to rip away his shield.
Nope.
Got it.
Again, I don't really feel like playing it to do that achievement, so.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to put another hour into it. Just there's a couple of trophies that I'm really close to getting. And then that's it. I'm not going to grind for the ones that are impossible, but I kind of like to clean up a trophy list before I move on. Because I won't play this game again after I do that. But it was good. I would recommend it.
Yeah, I would. And especially anyone who has PS Plus, you have this game.
Yeah, it's free.
Sure, take the few hours, play it. It's actually, I think it's a great kind of, if you have the time, a great like lazy Sunday kind of just feel like sitting around playing a game for the afternoon. This would be great.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a game that didn't do anything like particularly spectacular, but it didn't do anything bad either. Like it's a solid game. Like it is. Actually, having played through it is kind of one of my more favorite PS Plus titles from the year.
Yeah, I was looking at their Steam page right now as well, because it is on PC, and it has very positive recent and overall reviews.
Nice.
So I think people tend to like it. Its Metacritic is sitting at a 74, where I'd expect it to be.
Yeah, right where you're at.
I can't really complain. I do recommend it. I recommend picking it up. I think right now, even on it's on sale for $7.50 on Steam.
Oh yeah, for the summer or winter sale.
Yeah, one more day, so people listen to this early in the morning and pick it up on Steam. It's worth it. I'd say a $7.50 is totally worth it. Hell, $15 is probably worth it for this thing.
15. It's one of the. I agree. It's one of the games that came out in the summer when Abzu came out. This one and Bound that I bought, and I bought another one I can't remember. But I almost bought this one, and I'm really excited. I'm happy that I didn't because I got it for free. But if I would have bought it, it would have been totally worth $15. Like that was absolutely worth the money and the time.
I agree.
And they're not always, the PS Plus ones are not always worth it, I think.
No. They're kind of limited in their choices, and especially for this being PS Plus. I mean, I don't know what the break point is for devs with PS Plus. I mean, Sony is paying them something.
The business side of it's shrouded in mystery, so
you can't talk about that stuff. I know that for sure, and even from context I know, no one really talks about it. So, but either way, I recommend it. This is another good one. I'm happy to have played it.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row that have been pretty darn good. So what we do is we nominate a game for our video game book club at the first podcast of the month, and Anthony and I play it during that month, and we talk about it the first podcast of the next month. So now it's my turn to choose, and for January, Anthony and I are going to play a game from 2011 that we both have and both have not played, and it's called To the Moon. To the Moon is an indie adventure RPG about 2 doctors traversing through the memories of a dying man to fulfill his last wish. It's looks like a 16-bit kind of RPG.
everyone that I've either talked to face-to-face or seen online talk about this game have talked about the feels that they get when they play this game. It is about 4 to 5 hours, and looks like it's going to be something that's up our alley and have something to talk about.
Yeah, I've owned this one for a long time, but never played it.
I've had it for I think a year.
I'm pretty sure I've had it for years. It came out in 2011. I'm pretty sure I got it probably in 2012 during a sale or a Humble Bundle is where I got it.
Yeah, I think I bought it.
And it's just been sitting around, and I'm like, I've always heard really good things about it. So
I think it was during a Steam sale that I look at the top sellers and it was in there and it was like $2, and I said, well, that's worth it to try it out.
Yeah, I mean it's $2.50 right now.
Yeah. So if anyone's listening and wants to play along with us, check it out.
Yes, I'd be very. If people want to play along and send in questions or comments, I would love to hear other people who haven't played the game. And honestly, if you played the game and just want to send comments later, let me know.
Yeah, and also don't forget to check out our Steam group, Prof and Dev Play Games. We can do some chat there as well. Leave questions, and I think we'll start posting some of our stuff in there.
Yeah.
Like the links to the show and the games that we're maybe the games from this segment, things that we recommend.
Yeah. I would put stories up there.
Yeah,
I'd recommend
absolutely.
Stories on our recommended page.
Right. I'm not sure if I'd put Oxenfree.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed on that one. I definitely enjoyed stories more.
Oh yeah, me too. It was a better choice. So far, 1 for you and 0 for me, because your choice was a little better than mine. So the next section is moving on, talking about Steam some more. Not much news during the holidays, but there was Steam or Valve putting out their top 100 bestsellers of 2016, top games as measured by gross revenue, and they separated it into platinum, gold, silver, and bronze categories. And I just want to I'll read the platinum ones, and then you can decide if you want to read some other ones as well.
Okay.
But the top grossing games of the year were Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, Grand Theft Auto 5, Total War Warhammer, XCOM 2, Fallout 4, CS:GO, Rocket League, No Man's Sky, Civ 6, Tom Clancy's The Division, Dark Souls 3, and Dota 2. So from that list, any surprises for you?
Total War Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it's a good game and it's sold well, but to be put that high, holy shit.
Yeah, to be in the upper echelon.
Like, honestly, I mean, No Man's Sky doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That high, people are buying that thing like crazy. Yeah, none of them surprise me except Total War Warhammer.
Okay. So I'm a little surprised by, and maybe this is my ignorance, I don't know, but the games in the top here that don't have microtransactions. So just the ones that people paid for once and were done.
Yeah.
Or, Witcher 3 had the DLC packs, DLCs. Of course. Right.
I guess that's true. Total War Warhammer does have DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Considerable amounts of DLC.
Does
they just keep on. They have a few.
Yeah.
Like, not a ton, and I don't know how much people...
Civ
like,
6?
I was looking at it today. Civ 6 just came out, and Civ on Steam is just a huge seller.
Oh, okay. So that was just brute force. How much?
Brute force, yeah. Like, everyone wants a new civilization. It's PC only.
Right.
It's Steam only. So, yeah. Dota, Rocket League, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
No, all this stuff makes sense. Dark Souls 3, I mean, that's one that has a couple pieces of DLC, but not a ton.
Yeah, I think there's one packet or DLC packet.
So I mean, some of these are just
Ariandel, yeah.
Yeah, some of these just really are very popular games,
right?
Just on their own right. So.
So do you want to kind of pour through the gold tier?
Yeah, gold seems to be. I mean, Stardew Valley is in there. Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Did you pick that up yet? Do you have that?
Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you need the... I don't know. It's been one that I'm like, do I want it or not?
Yeah. I bet you can wait and get it at a better price, but it's worth $30. It's great, but the budget, you got to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah. Arme 3, I didn't realize it had been doing so well.
Is that
those games...
FPS?
It is an FPS.
Or is it a third-person shooter?
No, it's an FPS. It's an Army thing. This is what Army 2 was what DayZ was based off of.
Oh, okay.
Was originally a mod of, I believe, Army 2.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. It could be Army. Well, maybe DayZ was a mod of Army 3.
There's the top review here, most helpful review, 497 hours on record. His review is, I want to play a zombie game, you can. I want to play a realistic game, you can. I want to fly a plane, you can. Helicopter, you can. Tank, you can. Car, you can. Role play, you can. Kill stuff, you can. Learn military stuff, you can. Blah, blah, blah. It's just like, apparently you can do everything you want in this game.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm actually, of all the ones in this list on gold, that surprises me the most is Warframe. Because I see no one ever talk about Warframe.
Warframe's a weird one.
But it's clearly doing well, because it's on PS4, and I see it there sometimes, and then this just on Steam for the year. It's sold well.
I see Warframe mentioned so much on Reddit. People talking about, like, people asking, like, I'm new to PS4, like, what game should I play? And people are like, you should get Warframe, it's amazing. Like, what the hell is Warframe?
When I played, I got Warframe originally when I first got a PS4, because it was one of the first free-to-play games on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It's a weird third-person shooter free-to-play thing. The co-op.
Well, and the Metacritic's like 68, which, I mean, that take that for what it's worth. But
yeah, this is definitely one where the reviews are very different than like the players' viewpoints.
Absolutely.
They've diverged quite heavily, and that's why I'm like, am I missing something in this game? Did they add something? Because it was okay when I played it before, and now I'm just curious because it seems popular.
It just blows my mind because it makes me realize how much I miss the boat on free-to-play games. Like, if it's a free-to-play game, I almost pay no attention to it.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks because there are some that are good, but I don't know.
I was kind of forced through it. There was a large contingent at PopCap that played League of Legends.
Yeah, right.
And so I was brought into... In some ways, I was shown, like, oh, there can actually be free-to-play games done on PC that are really well done. That I don't feel like I'm getting gouged for playing them or being, like, buy all the stuff. It's like League, definitely, I'm like, oh, I don't really play it at all anymore and don't really have an interest, but for the year where I was playing it decently, it felt like the free-to-play model was put in there nicely.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, don't need to buy anything, but sure, I will because I'm enjoying this and putting hours into it.
It's kind of how Overwatch is structured. Like, you don't need to buy a thing. Like, you don't, not at all. I mean, it's not a free-to-play game because you buy the game, obviously.
Yeah.
But I will say that... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hearthstone is total free-to-play.
You're right.
I mean, you can buy packs, but I've gotten free packs. I've never bought a single pack for that game.
I haven't bought a pack for that game, but I've bought the expansions.
See, I've considered the expansions, and that's the one where I'd probably buy it just because I'm like, well, this is new content, but it feels worthwhile.
That's right.
But you never feel gouged like, oh, buy packs. You should buy packs. It's like they present the offer of like, hey, you can, but you can also just play and get them too.
Yep.
So
yeah, my friend keeps telling me when they're on sale and to buy them, and I'm like, I don't need to buy packs. Yeah. I will say though, if you look at my Steam library, the top game that I played, and I put 333 hours into this game, which is by far the most hours I put into any game ever. It's Team Fortress 2, and I just want to say it's free to play now, but I have been playing since it was not free to play, so I don't count that as a free to play game. Even though it is.
They just switched it.
Yeah. Well,
which makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's in the gold tier. Like, it's still making them money, which is insane for how old that game is. In the silver tier, I was really happy to see Watch Dogs 2, and I'll get on my Watch Dogs 2 soapbox later, but I'm glad people are playing it. And buying
so silver is funny. So we have Civ 6 in platinum, Civ 5 in silver.
Right. Well, I don't know. Is it because of microtransactions? Like, are there? No, just
there's expansions for it, but I mean, honestly, all the DLC for it has been out for years.
Right.
So I mean, this is just straight up people just buying Civ 5.
That's great.
Probably the complete edition.
Yeah.
So, That's there.
Skyrim. Jesus.
Skyrim
is still here. Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and I wonder if that's because I don't know if it would be the sale. Like, it's been on a steep discount.
No, because this is all revenue. This is all revenue based. So
right.
Actually, in some ways, I have a feeling that's being in silver isn't the best for them.
Like, it should have been higher, or?
Yeah, higher.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
For a AAA FPS thing that came out this year, not too long ago.
Right. It's on the same tier as, like, Skyrim, which has been out forever. But Watch Dogs 2 as well is a new...
Yeah. Which I would say Watch Dogs 2, based on looking at it, has probably not sold what...
No, it hasn't.
Ubisoft, I think it's sold less than Watch Dogs 1. So,
it has, yep.
Unfortunately, is just because I assume that Watch Dogs 1 just wasn't that great of a game.
Well, and they had this...
It really hurt the brand.
It absolutely did. And Watch Dogs 2 had this stupid season pass thing, which it's like $40 for the season pass, I guess. And you get like a couple single-player missions. People were just not happy with that. Kind of like the Evolve thing. Like the Evolve post-launch DLC package was made into this huge negative deal before Evolve came out. So I think part of that kind of stuck with Watch Dogs 2 as well. Which that game is great.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it.
I
seem to have liked it, so
holy shit!
I will trust your opinion that it is better than the first game and not necessarily like the marketing tried to push Watch Dogs 2.
That's right. And I learned how to hack a computer. I'm a really good hacker now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, I guess you platinumed Watch Dogs 2. You, I think, are required to go on Netflix and watch Hackers.
Oh, okay. That's actually.
Have you ever watched Hackers?
I have not, but I understand why you
really
want to watch
need to watch Hackers. Making those comments, I think it's important now to see. I would like to know your opinion if Watch Dogs 2 is in some ways a spiritual successor to the Hackers movie.
Well, I will watch it this week. My wife goes back to work, so I'll watch it while she's gone at work.
It's not good. It is not high quality.
No, I understand that. That's fine.
It's funny now.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's fun to watch movies like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot in here is nothing really that surprising for me.
No, not really. You know what? Actually, one thing that I wanted to comment on is that I don't see a ton of VR games. I mean, I don't see any VR games in Platinum or Gold, and then you get down to Silver and you have two, Subnautica and War Thunder.
Yeah, and so the thing is, those are primarily not VR games. They added VR later. I've had Subnautica for a year. I got it last year, and it just added VR.
Good point. So you can't even say those are VR games necessarily.
No.
Then I don't
they just happen to be VR.
Right. They added support for it. I'm looking.
No, but sales numbers for VR headsets haven't been. That was one piece of news I think that came out roughly around the Christmas time, was that the PS VR easily beats Vive and Oculus sales numbers combined.
Right.
Like the Vive and Oculus have both sold right around 400,000, something like that.
Together?
No, each.
Oh, okay.
I think Vive is like 350s to 375, and Oculus is floating around like 400. And the PSVR is like 775, 800 total.
Still not a lot for any of those.
So it's not shocking to me that the VR stuff isn't. Although I do know the people that have VR headsets that are on my Steam friends list, they're buying VR games all the goddamn time.
Oh, okay. So there is an audience, but it's a small one.
Yes.
I wonder if people are waiting for, like 2.0, basically.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely all these headsets are 1.0 type headsets.
Right.
So, and then we have just a pile of bronze, whatever that means.
I think it's weird that Left 4 Dead 2 is in the bronze. Like, Left 4 Dead 2 is one of the top grossing games of the year. Left 4 Dead 2 came out forever ago, 2009.
Yep.
That's crazy to me.
It has a following.
Sure does.
And Valve puts it on super sale all the time, or during all their sales, so it's $4 right now.
I'm glad to see Hitman in here. Something I didn't mention in our Game of the Year episode too much, but that's a rad game.
So, and this is just the Hitman intro pack is what's on this list, not the full game.
Yeah. Grim Dawn's on here. Steam controller. There you go. Steam controller is in bronze, so they've sold Steam controllers.
Man, I put that in my hand and I just put it back down. Like, that does not feel good.
I have a prototype version of it from a couple of years ago. They gave them out at Steam Dev Days years ago.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have the analog stick.
Wow.
That wasn't a thing. It's weird. It's really weird.
It is weird. I'm sure some people like it. But
yeah, not me.
Not me. Yeah. So the next piece of news, if there's nothing else on here that catches your eye, Steam Awards, the first ever Steam Awards, we all voted, and the winners have been announced. And I wanted to go through each one and kind of get your reaction or our reaction. So let's just get right into it. Villain in most need of a hug. Winner is Portal 2.
GLaDOS. Yep, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I haven't played Portal 2, so which I need to rectify.
Did you play Portal?
Yeah.
You should play Portal. Portal 2 is actually a really fun game.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I just haven't gotten to it. The next one, I thought this game was cool before it won an award, and the game that won was Euro Truck Simulator 2.
No.
Which, what? It beats Stardew Valley?
Stardew Valley. No.
Yes.
I don't know. This is where I'm like, if I remember right, Euro Truck Simulator 2 has a very, very, shockingly, is very popular in Europe.
Dude, and I went, okay, so when I saw these awards come out, I went and Googled this game and watched some videos, and I swear to God, all the videos, I watched like 6 or 7 videos to kind of see what this is about. The people who are playing, well, the people who are playing are truck drivers. They drive trucks, and then they come home, and the way that they relax is by playing this. And they're just driving. They're driving a truck in the game. Like, wow.
So this has started my thing of like, man, I should just make the game Ferry Simulator.
Oh God. Ferry.
Yes, Ferry, like a water boat ferry.
Right.
So I mean, think about it. I mean,
I don't want to think about it.
I live it every day. I go on a ferry.
Oh my
and
God.
then I could make a whole simulator and like just make really, really pretty water. That's all you really have to do.
Yeah.
And all you do is move the cars back and forth. That's the whole game.
Honestly,
and you can have DLC packs, so you can get different ferry systems from around the world.
If you did that and you sold it for like $4.99,
like,
it would make a lot of money.
It might. I don't know.
Well,
I feel like I'm doing it out of sarcasm.
Yeah.
And parody more than anything. And I'm like, I kind of feel like the people doing these, like, the Euro Truck simulators and the farm simulator, at least when they started, it wasn't a parody.
It wasn't? I thought it was.
I don't know.
Like, I thought Goat Simulator? I thought that was a parody.
Goat Simulator is.
Okay.
Because that's just after. But, like, Euro Truck Simulator, like, these things have been around for a while.
That's not a parody. Like, they're serious about this shit.
They were serious. And I'm just like, I don't know if I have it in me to, like, take it serious enough to...
I mean, it's like if I came home after teaching all day or grading all day and, like, played a simulation game where I graded essays. I would probably shoot myself. But, you know...
It's your own purgatory.
Yeah, really. I mean, each their own. I mean, I love teaching, but grading essays after a while is just like, oh, my God. It's a lot of work. And I don't want to do work when I'm relaxing, so, well, whatever. I'm sure farmers play Stardew Valley, so...
Yeah.
Whatever. Test of Time game, obviously, this was the first one that I saw that was obvious, and it's Skyrim.
Yeah.
Personally, I voted for Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2, to me, I think I actually chose Civ 5 on this one.
Uh-huh.
But between Team Fortress 2, Civ 5, and Skyrim, I'm like, yeah.
Any of them could have won. Yeah. I was surprised to see Terraria on that list, actually.
Yeah.
Just not into it, but that's just me. Just 5 more minutes. The winner was CSGO. I voted for Rocket League, but CSGO would make sense.
I voted for Civ 6.
Oh, really?
All the Civilization games are always 5 more. It's not 5 more minutes. It's 1 more turn.
Yeah.
one more turn, just another turn, and that goes on for hours.
Yeah.
But Rocket League was up there. Like, those are the two I was waffling between.
Yeah.
Because Rocket League is also, just one more game. It's cool. It doesn't take that long.
It's 5 minutes, and then, every time you score a goal, it stops, and it ends up being 10 minutes, but still.
Yeah.
Damn, that game is magic. The Whoa Dude Award, which is a game that blows your mind. I was so mad.
Maybe it's a crazy plot twist. What? No, not Grand Theft Auto. God.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 1.
No.
Yeah.
That's not a plot. I mean, it should be Witcher 3 or BioShock,
right.
Honestly.
I don't understand.
No, that's just, hey, you open this up to the mass public voting.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm not shocked that GTA 5 gets a bunch of votes.
Yeah. I'm just sad to see Witcher 3 lose anything. I'm just a Witcher 3 fanboy.
And then we get to game within a game.
This is a travesty of fucking justice. There's no why did Grand Theft Auto 5 win.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, so 4 was the last one I played.
Yeah,
so.
I have 5. I played it for maybe a couple hours.
So what's the game within a game here?
I don't know.
Okay.
But Witcher 3 seemed like the obvious choice.
Yes. I mean, it is the obvious choice. Tabletop Simulator is the funny choice to me.
Yeah, right.
That's the one I was like, I think I chose Tabletop Simulator because I just was amused by that one.
Because it literally is a game.
Because that's what it is.
Right.
That's all it does is let you do games within a game.
Right.
The next is I'm Not Crying, There's Something in My Eye.
This one makes sense.
Walking Dead. I mean, I haven't played the Telltale Walking Dead, so I don't know.
I haven't got to the end. I've only gotten halfway through it because I'm doing it with my wife, and when she wants to do that is few and far between.
Yeah.
But every podcast I've ever listened to about games that make you cry, this is the first one anyone mentions.
Oh, good to know. To the Moon's here.
Yes, To the Moon.
Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's gonna make you cry probably. But if you know it's gonna make you cry, it might not. So.
It might not, but we'll see. It might.
We'll see. So after that one, we have the best use of a farm animal, and this is just a foregone conclusion. Goat Simulator won that one.
Yep.
I voted for Stardew Valley, but...
So did I, but I'm not shocked that Goat Simulator won that one.
No, because it really is.
Yes. Boom Boom Award. Doom? Yeah?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I still haven't played the new one, although everyone talking about it, I'm like, maybe I should, because they're just like, damn, it's a damn stupid fun action game. No pretenses to be higher art, to tell an amazing story. It's just like, no, we're just going to double down on being a fun shooter.
Right.
And I'm like, when I feel like a fun shooter again, like really actually feel like playing a shooter, I probably will pick this up and just play it.
I played a couple hours of it, 3 or 4 levels, and it's, first of all, it has the best soundtrack of any game this year. It's just heavy metal, just the whole game. It's just, it knows what it's doing. The story is actually, it's like sparse. It's like a lot of environmental storytelling, and then some codexes and things you pick up, codices you pick up.
Yeah.
But
it's serviceable.
Oh, it's actually quite good. Like the Giant Bomb guys today were talking about it. It was in their top 3 stories of the year. It was Uncharted, Doom, and wait for it, Firewatch.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
Oh no, Firewatch would be a fine story.
That ending.
We always talk about it. Yes. And that's the thing. The ending kills it for me. Yeah. Some people, clearly, the ending didn't kill it for them.
No, and the people on the podcast today were talking about how, for the most part, they liked the ending. It got some things wrong, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, love-hate relationship.
I love this category.
Dark Souls 3 winner. And sure, that does not make me unhappy. But Darkest Dungeon, Super Meat Boy. I don't know if Dota 2. I'd probably put any kind of Dota clone, League, anything like that. Yeah, there's a love-hate there.
I definitely voted for Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
You voted for Darkest Dungeon?
I did vote for Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
I haven't played Geometry Dash, so I have no clue what that is.
Yeah.
But the other 4, yeah, I feel like any of them could have won this award.
Yeah, and it makes sense why Dark Souls 3 won.
Yeah.
Sit back and relax game is Euro Truck Simulator 2. I voted for Mini Metro.
I would have actually... Mini Metro was up there with me, and Cities.
Yeah.
I really need to pick up Mini Metro. I played it when it was a free game online.
Yeah, it's...
Before it was a full game.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a couple days just messing with it. It was this like weird free web game thing.
It's so weird that I like that game so much.
Oh, it was a great core concept.
Yeah. It knows what it wants to do, and it does it really well.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah. Better with friends. Left 4 Dead 2. No shit.
Yeah.
This game has to be played with friends.
Right. I didn't think that the titles on this were that strong. Like Magica, Golf with Your Friends, which sound like a serious / joke.
I actually chose Magica.
Did you?
Yeah, Magica's hilarious. Like, you can... For me, with Magic, you can play Magica alone, and it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But when you add friends in with it, oh my god.
Isn't there like...
You just blow each other up.
Exactly.
Holy crap.
Right.
You do stupid things, and you're like, well, oops.
Yeah.
That was like the weakest category for me overall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm amused that Steam did these awards.
Yeah, I don't take them too seriously.
No, I don't think Valve took them too seriously.
It's like a push poll online, like after like the election or before the election, like a click poll, whatever, a clicker.
Yeah.
But it's gauging the audience, and Euro Truck Simulator just surprises the hell out of me.
So many people with that game.
I'm so out of touch.
I guess so, but you've been out of touch for years.
That's true.
Been in the game industry and never left it, and I still don't understand Euro Truck Simulator.
Okay.
I don't understand the farm simulators either. Like,
right.
There's always a new one every year, and I just do not understand.
Who's buying it and why? And
I mean, I guess Stardew Valley is a farm simulator,
is.
but it's not. It's not a simulator. It's not like.
It's not trying for realism.
Caring about all the it's not realistic at all, and that's not its point. And
right.
I get that these things that are going for like super realistic, and I don't understand. But I guess it's the same type of people that do the flight sims that really get into the flight sims.
Right. Well, and the votes for the Euro Truck Simulator 2 that didn't come across to me as a joke vote. Like, people were serious. Like, this is a game we enjoy. So, which is great. Everyone should enjoy whatever they want to enjoy, as long as it's not hurting anybody.
Yes.
So let's talk about things that we're playing. This has been a pretty good week for me with the holidays and such. Played quite a few games, and I'm just gonna go on my Watch Dogs 2 little rant right now. I'm just gonna go right.
I've got to say, I enjoy that whenever you write it, you put the underscore there.
That's part of the title.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. I try to be true to the source material.
God.
So I played Watch Dogs 1, probably a couple hours. Didn't really like it. It was just very serious, and I didn't think it was that fun, to be honest. But I might go back and give it a second try now. But man, Watch Dogs 2, I bought. It was like Best Buy, buy 2 get 1 free, and I kept hearing things about it on the podcast I listened to about how it's kind of under the radar but really good. An SJW GTA, which is the thing that I heard that kind of sold me on it, and about how you can. It's designed to play it in a number of different ways, and it's basically like an open world puzzler, like trying to figure out how to get into places and steal information and get out. So I've been playing this since I got it, which was around December 6th, and I've put 40 hours into this game in December, which is nuts for me. Really nuts. I would play 2 or 3 hours every night.
Yeah, it makes sense though. But I saw you on all the time.
Oh my god. And that was me on it. I wasn't like away or anything. That was me playing. If I'm away, I turn the PS4 off. So I really tried to play this game, approach all the missions from trying not to kill anybody. I didn't upgrade my gun skill tree or even buy guns, really, until the final mission. And I was just like, I could have beat it without killing anybody. It wasn't really that difficult, but I hadn't had a chance to like really go in guns a-blazing too much. So I decided to do that, and that was really fun. God, it's just the story is basically like, Google and Facebook and whatever else are stealing your data and using it for nefarious means, and we're going to fight back by hacking against them. It's like basically here's Anonymous, like a hacker group that's doing good things for the community, basically. But other than that, the story's not that great. But the strength of the game is the scenarios you're put in to try to like hack information or take people out or collect things even. And you're using your tools, your drone, or you have a little RC car, and just trying to figure out how to get into places without being detected, and just doing a really like a stealth gameplay thing until you get discovered, and then just figuring out how you're going to extricate yourself from that situation. And when you put when you put parameters on yourself by saying I'm not going to kill anyone in this mission, it makes it even more fun. And there were so many times where I finished a mission and my heart was racing, which it made me feel really. It was fun. It was super fun.
Yeah.
And when I finished the story 2 nights ago, I realized I was about six trophies away from the platinum. So I started doing the trophies, which some of them are a little silly, like take a picture of someone vomiting, or get on top of a car and hack it and then ride 200 meters on it, or jump 140 meters on a vehicle or whatever. But
it doesn't sound like they're terribly hard ones, though.
They're not, except for the online ones. You always have a couple.
Of course.
Those are the ones that are annoying. So there's one where you have to neutralize 5 bounty targets, which basically a bounty target in the game, if you commit enough crimes, you become notorious, and when you basically have like 5 stars or whatever, you're super notorious, and then other people can get into your game and try to take you down along with the police. Or you can open up your mobile phone in the game and choose to start a bounty. And from the forums online, a lot of people are having trouble killing the bounties because either the police do it first, or they kill themselves, or they disconnect when they're about to be killed. But I went in and did it. I tried 5 in a row and killed 5, and I was done. I got that trophy. I got all the other trophies until there's one where you have to successfully hack into another player. This was the hardest one for me. I tried it like 20 times. So you find a target, and you hack them with your phone, and you have to hide and hope that they don't profile you. Basically, like hack into you and figure out it's you. And it's really pretty easy to do because there's a ton of people around you. And then you just hit L1 basically when you're facing each person, and then it'll say not the hacker, not the hacker, not the hacker, and then that's the hacker. So you're trying to like hide and run around, and I just kept dying. And I finally found someone who was maybe new to the game. He just kept running around in circles trying to find me and didn't come anywhere near me. So I kept like hacking cars around him and making them drive off in other directions, and he kept following them because he thought it was me. So that trophy popped, and then I had like 2 more just small trophies that I just saved till the end to get, and then I got the platinum, and it felt really good. It's not a hard platinum. It's like I don't know, the PlayStation trophies or whatever rates it like a 3 out of 10, so it's not super hard. But it's a game that I really enjoyed and like felt really good going for the platinum because it's a game that deserves to be finished. So I recommend it. Like whenever you're ready, I'll send it to you.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm very curious about this one.
It's fun.
What's their San Francisco like?
I thought it was pretty accurate. I mean, obviously it's condensed, and the Bay Area, quote unquote, is pretty condensed. But they've got the Silicon Valley, they've got Oakland, they've got Marin County, which one guy in the game calls it Marin County, which I wanted to throw my PS4 through the window. And then there's San Mateo, a couple other places. There's a mission where you can hack into the Ubisoft office, which is pretty cool. But it looks pretty realistic. I felt like it's a San Francisco that I knew, but they changed the names of all the companies and things. Like it's not the it's not the Warriors, it's the Ohlonies, it's not the San Francisco Giants, it's I forget what their name was in the game. And then Invite, or Facebook is Invite, and Google is Noodle, and a couple other things like that. But it's very, very recognizable.
It's not like the what's the PlayStation game that's set in Seattle?
Infamous.
Infamous. That is such a screwed up Seattle. Like, there's neighborhoods that connect. You're like, those aren't anywhere near each other. There's, like, other neighborhoods on this map that are between those. And they, like, completely reconfigure Seattle, which actually pulled me out of the game quite a bit whatever. I was like, no, Capitol Hill's not there. That's not how it goes.
Well, for me, the reason why I thought it was pretty close, I mean, obviously not 100%, is that when I was at like Pier 39, for example, and I needed to get to the AT&T Park where the Giants play.
Yeah.
I didn't need the map. I could drive there in the game because I knew where it was.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where Infamous pulled me out.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that. I still had to look at the map to know like where the neighborhoods are, even though I know where they are.
Right.
Geographically, roughly. So.
Yeah, and that's so in the city of San Francisco, at least, I felt like that's what it made sense. Oakland, not so much. I spent a lot of time in Oakland, and Oakland didn't represent Oakland in my mind. But when you look at the Bay Area as a whole,
it's the San Francisco persona's vision of what Oakland is.
That's a pretty fair point, actually. You might be onto something.
Because how many people that live in San Francisco go over to Oakland?
Yeah, maybe not a lot. Oakland's great. I mean, Oakland has
I know. I have no issue with Oakland.
Has a bad rap,
but it's totally one of those things where I'm like, I don't know anyone from my friends and stuff that lives in the Bay Area in San Francisco specifically, or Silicon Valley area, that actually goes to Oakland or East Bay.
Right.
Anytime. So.
So for me, with Watch Dogs 2, just to kind of end this, and I might do a separate write-up on Watch Dogs 2 just to, I don't know, kind of explore my thoughts a little more. But it's the first game I played in a while where it wasn't the story that compelled me, it was the gameplay. Like,
nice.
The gameplay just was so fun for me. I don't know why. I just couldn't stop playing it until I platinumed it. And I did, right? I did it like an hour before midnight, before the new year, so, that was fun.
Happy New Year!
Happy Platinum. New Year. Yep, get the platinum there. I also played Stories, which we already talked about. Next thing you and I both played was Uncharted 4 Survival Mode.
We did. We got 15 levels in and died, and then died.
Oh my god. Wave 15, where you have to get all the treasures and fight off all the bad guys. We tried it.
I still really feel like we need a third person that's competent.
Yeah, that would help.
And basically, one person on each side while defending, just killing guys, because, enemies just constantly spawn.
Right.
So needing to just keep that under control while a third person is running around getting all the trophies.
Yeah, I think
that's probably the way that you're supposed to do it.
Do you have any friends on your list who play Uncharted 4?
I'd have to check. I don't think so, though, actually, which is kind of crazy.
I have one who might be interested. So or we can find someone, online as well, too. But I think you're right. We need someone serious in that wave, which is crazy to me because I've randomly been assigned to a group and we were playing later waves and they were easier than what we were doing.
Yeah, the one we were doing, 15 seems to be a spike in difficulty, which isn't shocking to me that they put spikes in the progression.
Right.
From a development standpoint, that's important to do, not just to have the constant slow increase of difficulty. You want to spike difficulty every once in a while and then drop it back down to where it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It just creates excitement for players. If you make it too predictable, people just get bored.
Yeah, that's true. And it definitely, I felt like we were kind of getting into a rhythm until we hit that, and it really woke me up. Okay, let's think about how to do this. And we tried to, as much as we could do with two people. Our third person wasn't.
They were just running off. They kind of got the idea of taking out one side, but they just kept on doing their own thing.
Eventually, they figured it out, but he wouldn't stay with us, so we couldn't really get anything going. But it was fun. I would like to try it again eventually.
Yeah.
Another game I played this week was just the Nier Automata demo. And have you played that? Did you play it?
I have not yet. I hope to play it tomorrow, actually.
I really liked it. Really liked it. It's
How long is it?
Half an hour.
Okay.
40 minutes, maybe.
I've watched a video of the last boss in the demo.
Dude, that thing was rad.
Because holy crap.
You rip its arm off and start beating with it?
It felt like it was an incredibly climactic boss fight.
It was. And so when I was playing, I basically beat one stage of the boss, and I thought that was it. So I shared the video. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then when I got back to the game, then I ripped the arm off and started beating it in the face with it. I was like, oh my god, this is over the top crazy. The thing that I didn't like about the game, and I hope that they change this, it sounds intentional though, the viewpoint kept changing. It was like over the shoulder and then top down and then isometric, and I was like, can we figure out what we want to be?
No, I feel like that's intentional, almost certainly.
It felt intentional because of the way the locale.
Certain rooms have
that's right.
specific viewpoints because of the basically bullet hell stuff that they throw at you.
Right.
So you need to have different viewpoints to manage that. But yeah, I could see how it's jarring to suddenly be in a different viewpoint.
Well, it's the best Platinum game that I've played since Bayonetta 2.
That's good to know.
Yeah. I mean, the other Platinum games like Transformers I played, Korra I played, and Ninja Turtles I played, they're all not very great. So
I'm very sad that Korra didn't turn out, which I'm not shocked that it didn't turn out good, but I was really hoping. I really like Legend of Korra. That was a great game, a great TV show.
Yeah, it just seems like they put their B and C teams on the licensed stuff.
I know, which made me sad.
Yeah, but Activision was paying the bills and had the deadline and whatever else. And the last thing I picked up in the Steam Winter Sale was Rocksmith 2014 Remastered. So this is a game that I have for PS4, and it's teaching you how to play guitar. It's gamifying playing guitar. So it's kind of like Rock Band a little bit, but you're actually playing the real guitar, and it's teaching you the real notes and the real chords, and you can up the difficulty to play more of the notes or more of the chords or whatever. The problem with the PS4 version is that there's a delay with the sound through the HDMI. So I have like two contraptions, I guess. It takes the digital audio out of the PS4, puts it into a box, and then from the box puts it into headphones, and then the headphones come to you. So have that running out the back of my PS4 in order to play this. And it's kind of inconvenient to do it that way.
Yeah.
But with the PC, if you plug into the 3.25 inch.
Yeah, just your normal audio port.
Yeah, your normal audio port. There's no delay. So I'm really excited to be able to play Rocksmith. It's a bunch of songs that I like, and I'm learning how to play them. And
so, what guitar do you use?
I have a Paul Reed Smith electric guitar.
So you can just plug that right into the computer?
Yeah, and that's because I have the cable that came with the PS4 version. It's a USB on one side and then a 1/4 inch jack.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So that just can take any electric guitar then.
Any
if you
electric
have that
guitar.
Adapter.
And if you don't have one, do you just use a microphone with your acoustic guitar?
Wow, that's actually really, really cool.
Like if you still have your electric guitar and you're wanting to play.
I know. My uncle has that again.
Okay.
He has that.
Yeah. It's rad.
He asked for his crazy synth guitar back.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I'm gonna put a lot of hours into this because now I can actually play it. So
that's really cool. I never knew how that worked. Because it always looked really interesting to me. But.
Yeah, and it was $10. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump on it. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. And it took me a while to figure out how the interface. I forgot how the interface worked, and I was playing Outcast's Hey Ya because I knew it was like a simple rhythm, so I just wanted to get my feet wet, and it kept having me play just like fret the E string at the 3rd fret and then the A string at the 3rd fret and just boom, 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 back and forth. I'm like, this is so dumb. What is this? I thought I was playing rhythm, and I realized that my difficulty was set at 1. So I cranked it up to 100, and then it was normal. I was playing real normal chords.
You're like, oh, this is real guitar.
Yeah, I know how to play guitar, so let me play guitar. So
nice.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. So those are games that I've been playing this week. What about you?
So we talked about Uncharted 4 stories. Talked about in between those. I didn't write down. I ran for the beginning of the week. Was pretty light on actual digital gaming because I was prepping for my bi-weekly Star Wars RPG. So usually the couple days before that is most of my nights are dedicated to with a bunch of rule books on my desk and books and writing and digital translating of a bunch of stuff for that. But once I got back to gaming, I did some. I've been home all week, working from home, and then just kind of relaxing. Did some Stardew Valley again, starting it with the full latest patches and everything, and it's my relaxing game. I can just go back to it, and it's always just kind of zen out and build a little farm.
Right.
So usually one day I play a significant chunk of it, but most days I play a couple days worth of the game, so an hour max. Like, because a day in that game usually takes about 15 minutes to play. So doing that some, and then I put I don't know if I consider it a bunch of time, but I finished Final Fantasy 15.
Congratulations. How many hours did you
I beat the story.
Okay. How many hours did you put in that?
50. Just over 50 total. Level 53, there's still a ton for me to do. The last third of the game doesn't even remotely feel like the first 2/3 of that game.
That's what I keep hearing.
Holy crap, is it different?
Like in a bad way?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Chapter 13, well, the thing is, it's not open world. Once you hit so there's 15 chapters. Once you hit chapter 9, it's not open world anymore. And you never go back to the open world.
Wow, that's weird.
It's linear. It's very linear to the end. And chapter 13, which is the one everyone was like complaining about online.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain. I didn't have issues with like the mechanics of it. I did fine, but my issue was it just went on for fucking ever. God, I was so ready for it to be done.
Is that the stealth section?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. There's a little bit of stealth in it, but not much.
Oh, okay.
None of the stealth sections in the game are actually that long or that big. So, yeah, there's a little bit of stealth, but no, it's a point where they remove you don't have a party anymore. Like, it's just you as Noctis.
Oh.
And you don't have weapons. Like, it's... but you have, like, one defensive thing you can do. And you can... It can do it's a ring that can do a lot of different things. But the thing is, it's just a lot of corridors and small rooms. And it just feels like it goes on forever. And it kind of does go on forever. Its pace is just totally off. I feel like it could be cut down by like 3/4 and still just get across what you're trying to get across. I'm not sure why it's as long as it is. My only other issue is I finished it and I was like, I kind of understand what just happened, but then I watched the credits, and the credits puts a couple other scenes in the middle of the credits and after that just confused me. That made me go like, I guess I don't understand what's going on. Like, I feel like I need to watch a YouTube video to explain to me what the hell some of this means.
I feel like I heard some people say that the game is trying to kind of ape a lot of different genres. Like there's like an Uncharted section and a Final Fantasy section and a whatever else section.
I wouldn't say it apes a ton. I didn't see Uncharted as much.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a little bit, but not. It is trying, like, definitely the last half, they're trying different things. Like, and there are points in the game, too, that they shift, and they're like, well, let's try this type of genre, or this type of, let's switch up the core gameplay, let's add a wrinkle to it so you can see what it's like. I appreciate their attempt to try new things. Like,
right.
This is a game of trying new things, totally. They are not resting on their laurels on hey, it's a Final Fantasy game, we know how to make those. It's like, no, they're trying lots of new things. And this is one of those games where you're talking about, we said Watch Dogs 2, it wasn't about the story, it's about the mechanics. Final Fantasy, for a large chunk of 15, for a large chunk, it was almost completely about the mechanics for me.
Uh-huh.
Like, I love the hunts. I still really love the combat in the game. I have a blast with the combat. Once I understood it, and once I feel like I've played enough that I just feel like I have an innate feeling on when I should be dodging, when I should be attacking, and linking all this stuff together.
Right.
It feels really good, and it looks amazing. So that part keeps me coming back. And it's less about the overall story. The character stories are fun. Like, the characters are great. And there's a lot of interesting stuff with the characters as the game goes on that I would say overshadows the actual underlying plot of the game.
Uh-huh. I watched the animes, and I'm a third of the way through Kingsglaive right now. And I like the world they're building. I like the story. So I'm hoping that it continues that.
I have a feeling watching Kingsglaive will help you some. It helped me. It just, I thought I understood the ending until those 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
That I'm like, maybe I don't. Maybe this doesn't make any sense to me. Are those real? Are they real? Are they visions? What are they? Like, it doesn't jive with stuff that has happened.
Right.
So I'll have to play it again. But once you finish it, you can load it back up, and you can go back to any chapter that you want to. Go back. It says relive memories, so you can
that's a cool way to do it.
You can go back to your open world section of the game and just continue doing all the open world stuff, and so supposedly get a flying car.
Yeah, I've heard about that. You can relive your memories, quote unquote, by making new ones by doing the quests you didn't finish earlier.
Yeah, pretty much. It also has New Game Plus now since the holiday update.
I'm looking forward to jumping into that. I'll probably start Tuesday once I finish Kingsglaive.
There you go.
My friend here told me that he really wants me to play it because he says it's like a futuristic Witcher 3.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I was wondering what you thought about that.
Well, I guess the big open world section of it, where it stays really open world, kind of has that feel to it. Like, there are lots of side quests and hunts and a big world to explore. It has that aspect to it. It doesn't have the aspect where all those side stories roll back into the main story.
Oh, okay.
The side stories are very side story.
In the game, does Luna Freya, is her voice actor Lena Headey?
No. The games are Sean Bean's not voicing.
Wow.
No. That was announced whenever they.
Yeah, I guess I didn't hear it.
Announced the Kingsglaive movie.
Yeah, that's fine. Just curious.
Yeah.
So, if you had finished it last year, would it have been on your top 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's still there. Mostly, I appreciate it for trying a lot of new things and being really solid mechanically. Like, still just have a blast mechanically, and it's pretty, and it has a lot of things going for it. The story part is, I don't give it leeway, but I would say that for the most part, Final Fantasy games always devolve into really bizarre and weird stories by the end.
Yeah.
Like, I guess 8 is the only one that I've played where I feel like the story is somewhat consistent all the way through and pretty good.
Yeah.
Mechanically, that game falls down horribly, but from a story, I'm like, oh, you tell a pretty coherent story all the way through that's actually like these characters. 9 did as well, but for the most part, the rest of them, they become a jumbled mess by the end. Honestly, like, you finish 7, you're like, sure, I don't really know what just happened there. Okay. I guess I got an ending.
Yeah. I'm stuck on some part in 7 where when you first get the chocobo, and then you're supposed to, like, ride it across the sand and get into a cave and then go past the snake to get to the next section.
Oh, okay. I barely remember anything.
Okay. I keep coming back. I go in and go past and come out, and I end up out in the same place I went in, and, like, I run around in circles, and I got really frustrated. I'll figure it out one day. Anyway, I'm glad that you liked Final Fantasy 15. Looking forward to playing it so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Some more. Off topic, just wanted to throw in just TV and movies that we've been watching lately. I think you've seen a couple movies and shows.
Well, I've seen one movie that I know that you've seen.
Rogue.
Yep, Rogue One.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
I had a blast in that movie, and I want to see it again. I'm just hoping to find time to do it.
Yeah, I went to the movies with my father-in-law, and he hadn't seen it yet, but I hadn't seen Assassin's Creed, so we went and saw that instead. Which I don't know if he was... I mean, he enjoyed it. I mean, he likes movies like that, but he would have liked Rogue One better. But I had some friends who went into Rogue One thinking it was the sequel to The Force Awakens. So they left, and they were really pissed. Like, where are all the characters that I know? Like, what characters? They're like, Rey and Finn, where are they? Okay, let's reset your expectations. Like, oh, I guess I hate it less than I did. Like, whoops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I guess I don't know how it could be clearer to people. I guess that's the unfortunate part with Rogue One, as being the first movie that is standalone or just a side story, that you have to buck the tradition. You're the first movie, no matter what. People are going to confuse this, because people that aren't in the know are just like, oh, it's a Star Wars movie, it just continues the story, right? That's all it does. Like, that's how they've seen these movies before.
That's right.
Like,
absolutely.
So I'm like, I guess no matter how much you prime and prep people, there's always going to be that portion of the audience that's like, no, it's a Star Wars movie. It's episode 8 now.
Yep.
Give me the next chapter.
That's exactly what happened with my friends. So spoilers, of course. We're talking about the movie since we saw it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. I like that everyone died at the end.
I couldn't believe they did it. I was shocked that they killed everybody. I really thought someone was getting out. It was basically when K2 dies. I was like, well, shit, no one's making it out, are they? We're done. Oh, right. They're doing this.
Like they built.
Oh my god! And it's like, it shifted me to be like edge of my seat, because I wanted to still believe that someone could live out of it. And so you're still hoping.
Right. Well, it raises the stakes and makes you
engaged. The stakes were raised, and I was like, oh god.
That beach scene where they're hugging each other, it's like, oh my god, oh no, they're dead.
Nope, they're vaporized.
Yep.
Okay.
Which that's just such a brave thing to do when you've built these characters that you could build more movies off of. You know?
Did you hear the story? The director said the original script, no one died.
Oh god.
They didn't kill them. Like, because they presented it to them, like, because they didn't feel like they could kill the characters. And Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm, was like, no, they should all die. And they're like, really? We can do that? And they're like, yes. And the director said, Gareth Edwards has said, like, he always expected while he was filming, someone would come in and say, sorry, film a scene with Jen and Cassian on the beach alive.
Because
just
we want
to add in, he's like, yeah, he just could not believe that they would because he always felt like the story, they should all die, but he just didn't believe that they would be allowed to tell that story.
Right, because they spent all this money building these characters that they can then milk in future movies or whatever.
Yep. And I'm like, okay, Lucasfilm, Disney, you've shown me that you're not completely caring about the potential future. Like, you were telling the story is more important.
Yeah. So, like, making this a successful story, and that I will forever remember this movie now, like, for taking that risk and being bold. And that's honestly one of the reasons why I thought the ending paid off.
Oh, the Vader scene though.
Yeah.
Oh man, the lightsaber lining up in that corridor.
Yeah.
That was the one that reminded me. It's like, oh right, this is why you fear Darth Vader.
Right.
That scene, like, I didn't spoil. I knew he was going to be in there. I knew there was a scene that was just like him being badass.
Yeah.
I was not prepared for the level of just intensity of that scene.
Well, that's the one where
people ask me, like,
the guy, right?
No, this is the second scene when he's pursuing the plans.
Oh yeah, right.
When he's just cutting down rebels,
right,
and they're like screaming, "Get me out of here!" And then they shift and going like, "Oh, I'm not going to live. Take the plans, the plans, move." Right. And you're like, "Oh, holy."
So the final scene with Carrie Fisher or Princess Leia, was that CG? Was that
a CG?
Oh, okay.
It was a CG recreation. See, some people, I felt like there were scenes with Tarkin that didn't look that great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought that Leia looked fine. I thought it looked really good, actually. Yeah. But a lot of people, I think, after I came out and reading reviews online, that felt it was reverse.
Oh, really?
There was a lot of people online that just really hated the CG Leia. I'm like, I didn't really think it was bad. I thought it fooled me well enough.
For me, it looked like very obviously CG, but I didn't care. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, all the CG character like that, the recreations looked CG. I'm glad that they continue to push this medium and try to get it working well.
Right.
But CG characters still look like CG characters when compared to live actors.
Of course.
So,
I really liked Alan Tudyk in this movie.
Oh God, K2 was so good.
God, it's so good. It's like, that's Wash? What?
Yes, that is Wash.
Oh my God.
The great with that droid.
So good.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I thought the first hour was a little bit jumbled, a little weird and confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Just jumped around a lot. It was very quick.
It did. It was like
I thought they were gonna
location.
It was. I felt like it might have just been better if they had just stuck with Cassian or Jin as they were going to those locations and not done so much jumping. But once the second act really kicked in, and especially the third act, it's just one of those movies that got better and better as it went on.
Absolutely.
Like, it felt like it figured things out more. Stuff that I've been reading has since that, like, the guy who played Krennic has said that they filmed so many alternate takes to scenes that he's like, yeah, there's a completely other 2 or 3 different movies here if they wanted to put different cuts out of the film.
Well, if you remember when they kind of were showing it to the execs or something like that, they ordered rewrites. So
yeah, they reshot a ton of stuff, but it also sounded like even when they were doing principal photography, they did a ton of different takes, so they could film stuff, and they just have hours upon hours of extra footage that they could just cut this movie together however they needed it to be.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
We'll
never see that other movie.
Exactly.
But I'm curious. The trailers show at the end on Scarif when they're there. The trailers actually showed Jin with the hard drive with the plans running across the beach to a transmission dish.
Oh, really?
So, like, the AT-ATs are shooting at her, and there's a whole scene where the place where they get the plans and the way that they transmit the plans is not the same location. Like, they have to run across the beach.
Right.
And that clearly was all cut. So part of me is wondering if they just had so much footage of just battle at the end that they just consolidated all that and they added a bunch of space battle.
Well,
and the space battle was pretty cool.
It was. The whole, like you said, the beginning was confusing and then the rest was just top notch.
Yeah.
So good.
Then you move to Assassin's Creed for you. We talk about probably a good movie and a movie that I'm like, I really want to see Assassin's Creed, that everything I hear I'm like, I probably just need to wait and rent this.
You should rent it, absolutely. Don't go to the theater. And that sucks because you want to support them making video game movies, but good ones. Okay, so first of all, when I bought the Ezio trilogy, I basically had the free ticket to go see this. So it paid for most of my ticket to go see it in 3D. Because that was all was playing at the time when I went. Excuse me. Needed a drink. So I played quite a few of the games, and I think the criticism of the games that I hear the most is the modern day stuff. Like, the modern day stuff's kind of weird, doesn't make sense, not as fun.
No.
The historical part is the fun part of the game, basically. So kind of against the backdrop of that criticism, they made a movie that was basically all modern day, with a couple of good scenes going back in time to the Inquisition time in Spain. And those parts were great, and the modern day stuff was just kind of confusing and just exactly how it comes across to me in the games, like not that interesting. It's like Ubisoft has this like great idea, like we're gonna live the genetic memories of our ancestors, and we really want to like show this smart idea we have, but it's not a great idea. Like, it's not the point of the games, and it shouldn't have been the point of the movies.
No, the point of the games is just a conceit to explain away gameplay systems.
Right.
Like, so you can be like, oh, the historical part's not exactly right, or it's kind of gamey because you're in a game, effectively.
And the way that they portrayed the Animus was pretty cool. Like, it's attached to his back, and he's basically like climbing, fighting, whatever. Like, you see Fassbender doing that. But the story, like the Templars and the Assassins in the modern day, like, fucking, I don't care at all. And that they based the whole movie around that, like, I thought it was a missed opportunity.
I'm sure it's also budget, too.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure the past Spanish Inquisition part takes a lot of expensive sets.
It absolutely does. That's why that's what I was thinking when I was watching it, is like, this costs a lot of money, so they're not doing very much of it. I just wish they would take that part and make like a 6-hour game experience set in Spain.
Yeah.
Like that would be, I kept thinking the whole time, I want to play this, and the rest of it, like, it's not that interesting. It's like a 5 out of 10. Like, it was entertaining.
It's almost like a movie you'd watch on USA Network or something.
Yeah.
Not that great. You should definitely. I mean, I think it's worth a watch. But one day when you have literally nothing else to do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in terms of TV shows, I bought my wife Crazy Ex-Girlfriend season 1 for Christmas, and we binged it from the 27th to yesterday. You know anything about this show?
I don't.
Oh man, it's basically this woman who leaves her job in New York and comes to West Covina chasing this guy she likes. And it just revolves around that plot basically, but it's a comedy and it's a musical. So there's like 2 or 3 musical numbers in every song or every show, and they're like Greg songs, like our friend Greg. They're those songs. Plus a lot of feminist humor, and it's just funny as hell and just really pretty smart.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then we watched some Luke Cage tonight, which is kind of going off the rails.
It does a little bit in the middle.
Ooh, yeah, that in the middle is that's right where we're at. We're like, what the hell is happening now? So that's what I've been watching.
What have I been watching? I've been watching Person of Interest.
Oh yeah.
I'm finishing that up. I'm in season 5 on Netflix now, so it's been it's a good show. It has the weird thing where with network TV, where you feel it's padded sometimes to get to 22, 23 episodes.
Right.
It definitely has that sometimes, but overall, it's 5 seasons, and it definitely takes some twists and turns, and I wouldn't think the show that it's ending on was what the show was when it started.
So they kind of discovered who they were?
No, I think they knew exactly who they were. They just tricked everyone in the first couple seasons on what the show was. Because it's a sci-fi show. But it's not. It looks like a police procedural. Has plenty of episodes that act like police procedural.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
But it's not a police procedural.
Oh, that's cool.
It uses the episode conceits of a police procedural. It's structured like that, but it's a sci-fi show talking about that revolves mostly around AI and privacy. It asks a lot of questions on, and it doesn't try to answer them. And it gives a lot of different sides on like what are people entitled to privacy-wise? What should people give up their privacy for safety? What type of safety? It asks a lot of big questions that there aren't easy answers to.
It's a good topic for modern-day America.
It is an incredibly good topic, and the show does a really good job of asking those questions. So I've been pretty happy. I'm on about halfway through. The 5th season's only 13 episodes, so I'm halfway through the final season where...
Oh, they cut it short?
They just gave it a 5th season to wrap everything up.
I see.
And there's not a whole... everything's coming to a head pretty quickly. So I've been pretty impressed with that. I'm trying to think of any other TV that I've been watching recently. I can't think of anything. When I go to TV, that's what I've usually been watching.
Cool. It's nice to have some, I don't know, things that you can binge. We're really enjoying that right now.
Yeah, there's that, and then I haven't watched it yet. There's a new Doctor Who Christmas special.
Oh, nice.
Which I need to watch, and then there's Sense8 on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
They got a Christmas special, and I actually really enjoyed the first season of Sense8. It was a very slow build, but
yeah,
it's Wachowski's, the people that made The Matrix.
Right, I've heard good things about it.
And it's weird. You get going, it takes a while to get going, but once it does, you're like, oh, this is actually a really well done show. It has some really neat stuff going on. So I was really out of nowhere. They did a Christmas special, so I need to watch that still. But I'm hoping to finish Person of Interest before going on to anything else.
Right. I gotta get into. I'm hoping I want to finish Luke Cage before I move on to something else, and I want to move into Westworld.
Oh yeah, I did finish Westworld. I did watch that while it was airing.
Did you like it?
I did like it quite a bit.
Okay.
It's a little... Have you read spoilers at all?
I know almost nothing about it.
Good.
Yeah. I know there's it's
gonna be confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of meant to be.
I'm okay with ambiguity.
There's ambiguity that becomes much more solved towards the end of the season.
Cool.
But if you look online at people talking about it produced a lot of discussion, and a lot of discussion actually did end up being true. So
yeah, I've avoided all of it.
So probably stay away from some of that. But as a show, no, I thought it was really neat. It had some pretty good mysteries, and again, presenting some hard questions that there aren't easy answers for.
Right.
And keep a ear out for modern songs done on piano.
Oh, nice.
There's a lot of really cool modern songs thrown in like tavern style piano. So that was fun. Easter eggs thrown out.
Awesome. Well, lots of media to consume, lots of games to play, and we will be back next week to talk about all those things, and hopefully we'll have some news.
I think so. People should be back at work.
Yeah, and definitely the podcast after the 12th, we will for sure have some news.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out with me tonight, Anthony. And
thank you.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year to everyone. We'll talk to you later.
All right, later, everyone.
Night.